Welcome, everybody, to the Graybird Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and we lost John Hughes too soon. This week, we're going to be talking about some game rumors and some news. And as always, I have with me David and Liam, and we're going to get this tour bus rocking. No, that sounded way worse and better in my head. Anyway, like and subscribe. So this week, we're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to get into what we've been playing. And but before that, guys, I have a question. Did you guys see the leaked Battlefield footage of the new Battlefield game?
I did a little bit. Yeah, I'm not a fan of, but not a fan, but like knowledgeable of Battlefield. You know, I'm not a guy who says, "Oh, that looks good" or "that doesn't look good." But it looks very Battlefield 4. I saw
It
that.
does. It looks the destruction in it looks absolutely just mind blowing. It looks amazing.
I didn't see the destruction.
Yeah,
So
it was a guy running through. He ran across the street and behind some pillars, and there was a tank coming down the street, and it hit like the floor above him, and then when it passed, he ran back across the street and turned, and you can see the building just like the front of the building just coming down into the street, but it didn't just fall; it like left debris in the street, and then smoke, and then dust, and oh man, it just it looks like they might be brewing. I don't know, maybe exactly what we want. So
it's EA, so we'll reserve judgment.
yeah, it made me a little bit excited, and then I had to pull it back. It's EA, so whatever. So let's get into what we've been playing. And this week, last week, we had a super heavy subject that we were talking about, like men's mental health and gaming. And I'm really glad that we're all three licensed therapists, or otherwise that would have been a little bit awkward. So this week it's going to be a lot lighter. So if that was your first show, that's not usually what we do here. So anyway, so we're going to start with Liam this week. No, we're going to start with David this week because we started with Liam last week, I think. So, David, let's get into what you've been playing this week.
I've been playing the usual Apex and Conan.
Ooh, I called it.
I'm back on the Conan grind.
Yeah.
I worked my way into it, and I played it all weekend.
Sweet.
And yeah, we met a new character, like a new friend on Apex.
Yeah.
And he's incredibly good, and he's incredibly patient with us. So he's been going out and slaughtering everybody while we've been hanging back and doing
support.
I threw a grenade.
That's me. Yeah.
So, and he hasn't been like, nah, I don't want to play with you guys. He still plays with us, but it's getting a little old. Like, look, man, you're way better than us. We can't keep up. We just can't.
I get that way. When I play somebody a lot better than me at some point, I'm like, hey, this is fun, but this can't be fun for you. I forgot how to pull my weapon up. This is I'm like comedy relief at this point.
Yeah. So I went back to Conan and I started playing that. So I'm into it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, before Dune. Getting ready for Dune.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Just get ready for
the Dune. I think that game is going to be... I have a good feeling about that game. I just do.
If it's exactly like Conan, fine. I'm fine with that. But it's like Dune-esque, and they have all the Dune stuff. And,
Well, I think that they've come a long way on Conan as far as just having like a survival platform,
right?
And that's one of my favorite survival games. I love that game. Is that it? Is that all you had time for?
That's it. Just those two games, really.
Yeah. Man, covering a lot of bases with those two games. Liam, what have you been playing this week?
I was catching up on some just like seasonal stuff for games like Diablo, COD, some FIFA with friends, just usual stuff that I normally play.
Yeah.
But then I was online one day, and this is why I shouldn't be allowed online. I was on Facebook and I was looking at Facebook Marketplace, and I saw a Switch OLED. So I bought a Switch. So I bought a Switch OLED.
Did you? Now, is this your first Switch?
Second Switch that I've played on. I did play with a Switch before.
But you haven't owned one yourself yet.
No, so
Okay.
I got the OLED because it was a really good deal. I think it was a really good deal anyway, because it had a game which was like Mario and Rabbids, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Had a game, had like the case, and and a bag with, so like you can put everything in it, all the cables and all the cases and everything.
Sweet,
and also an extra generic controller. But all that with the OLED Switch, it was £160.
Whoa!
I don't think that's bad at all.
Whoa!
I was like,
you're gonna get sued by Nintendo.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that because I really wanted the Switch 2 to come out, and I don't know when that's coming out. That might be 6 months from now. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I thought I can't pass that up. That deal was too good.
Yeah, man, that is a good deal.
Yeah, and because it was like a local seller, and so just literally in town, in the same town as me. If I go to second-hand shops, the trade-in shops, they're still like retail Switch price. They're still like £260.
Yeah.
I got everything for 160. It's a bargain. It's just it was great, and it's barely used, so literally perfect condition.
You met up with the guy?
Yeah, just went around to the house. I was like, oh yeah, Switch. Oh yeah, here you go. Thank you.
Were there children in the back room that were like, no, Daddy, no?
Right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break the window. It's probably they're probably like, yay, we can eat.
Wow. And I've been enjoying some games. The Switch games though, they don't go down in price, do they?
No, they don't.
It's very difficult to get a cheap Switch game.
Wow.
Cheap Nintendo games.
I'm looking at GameStop here in the U.S. and just a pre-owned OLED is $300. That's just the
Switch.
Switch.
Yeah,
that's not anything
Switch,
with
so.
it. That's of course.
So this is probably
bobbery.
Probably just some parents who are like, oh, we need to get rid of this thing. Our kid isn't good at school, so we're gonna get rid of it.
It reminds me of our kid that died in the well. Yeah, that's either that or, like I said, they needed to buy groceries. They bought some. Well, here people are trading those for eggs.
Oh yeah, eggs. Yeah, you need eggs over there. Yeah,
right.
So I did get a few games, and the games are probably more expensive than a damn Switch at this point.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
What'd you get? What games did you get?
I got Mario Kart, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
Smash Bros.
Okay.
Animal Crossing.
The classics.
Yeah.
Switch Sports. I've got no Pokemon or Zelda yet because I ran out of money. Like, damn, these games are like going down in price. Like, jeez. And I got the Switch Online pack subscription thing.
Yeah.
It is, they do. So I can play all my Nintendo 64 games again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. Man, that's a good deal.
The Switch definitely is 8 years old though. Jesus. It can play games well and nothing else. Just don't do anything else on the Switch and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I hope the Switch 2 has a faster operating system.
It's a cell phone. Yeah.
That's what I've been experimenting with.
Yeah, I was talking to someone and they were asking me about the Switch, and I was like, "Well, okay, go home, go to that top drawer that you throw all your old phones in, take one out that came out about 2017, and then use it for like 5 minutes, and that's where your performance level is on a Switch right now." It's man, they should have. This Switch 2 should have come out 3 years ago, but that's just that's just me. So that's nice. I mean, you've got a nice you've got a plethora of games to play.
Yeah.
And any of those games supposedly, right, are going to be compatible with the Switch 2.
Oh yeah.
So when you trade in that OLED for a Switch 2, then you've got games to play already.
Yep, they got backwards compatibility. I don't know what Nintendo plan to do. Like, are they gonna pull a Sony and be like, it's compatible, but here's Switch patches that cost you $20? Switch 2.
It's very possible. Yeah.
So I don't know, but the thing that I really wanted to play was Switch Sports. And it's not like the Wii though. I miss the Wii.
Still got mine.
The Wii Sports was just so much better than Switch Sports as they do it, because they kind of remastered a lot of the stuff from the Wii Sports into the new Switch one.
Yeah.
But they've lost the sort of charm that Nintendo had back in the Wii days. You know, when everyone had like the little Mii's characters and everyone was all together. It's sort of gone in the Switch. It kind of felt a bit soulless.
Well, I think it's because of that portability. You know, it's not so much a living room console anymore. You know, it's not like, hey, bring the family together. It's like, let's sit at this little table and, you know, I think that it may have lost some of that connectivity. I
mean, they have, but they've lost like the atmosphere of what the games were before. I'll give you an example, like bowling, for example, on Wii Sports was great.
Right.
Because you could, obviously, you would just like take your bowling and do a strike or miss it, or whatever, but you saw people with you. You saw the crowd with you. There's a group of Mii's in the background. And you can do this thing where if you hold the Wiimote and pull it back, the bowling ball will go behind you. And like you
I remember
throw it
that.
behind you, and all the Mii's will go, yay!
So,
just dumb things. But that doesn't happen in Switch Sports. You just drops. It feels so static in comparison. Like there's like no crowd, there's nothing. You're just doing the sport and that's it. It lost a lot of stuff for me.
Is Nintendo losing their magic?
Yeah, they really did on that. I mean, obviously, like their Mario and Zeldas will be fine, but yeah, they lost a little family-friendly sports thing that they did. They used to be so good at.
I mean, I do often watch, Wii fails on YouTube. So people like throwing their remote in their TV or breaking a fish tank. Or
just go, oh no, the Wii remote.
Right. Hitting the camera. You see it hit the...
Cracking grandma in the head
right.
as she walks by with cookies.
Yeah.
I had an uncle that was playing the Wii tennis and he actually damaged his elbow.
He got tennis elbow. Tennis Wii elbow.
He actually got it. He did himself. He was like, oh, I can't play anymore. You play.
Oh, man.
He's on the floor like, and you're like, tennis elbow?
Right. 30 love. Boop, boop. Yeah.
30 love. Looks like you're losing this one.
We win, yay!
God. Yeah, those things are... Yeah, I kind of miss that. I've still got mine. I don't think... Does it... This is going to be a stupid question, but I have not plugged it in or used it since we had a tube TV, and I'm assuming that it works with any TV, right? But it seems like they had to have an adapter or something.
You can obviously some TVs can still use the AV cables, so
that's what it was. It was the AV cable, connection for the sensor.
But if not, but you can probably get a connector.
My TV's so old. It's got it's got that big panel on the back that's got like every connection since the beginning of TVs. It even has like 2 screws that you can unscrew and plug in an Atari adapter, channel 3 or 4. So maybe we need a new TV. I don't know. We don't watch it. So, but yeah, man, that's cool. You got you a new Switch. An OLED. I kind of did the same thing when I knew that the PlayStation 4 was coming out. And I wanted to play The Last of Us. And so the year before, basically when Last of Us came out, I think that was like this September of 2012, maybe? I know it was
Was it in 2013 on Last of Us?
Maybe it was the spring of 2000 because I had it a while before I got my day one PS4. So I got that, and because I was just bored, to be honest. You know, you have a console for so long, you play everything. It's like, I really just want a new experience. So I went, of course, and I got all the Uncharted, and I got the God of Wars, and, you know, just had a blast with a lot of PS3 titles that I hadn't previously played, thinking that those would probably be, you know, obviously backwards compatible for the PS4 because the Xbox One was going to play all my 360 games, and no, it was not. So yeah, that PS3 sat right next to my PS4 because, you know, it had my Skyrim saves on it. But yeah, I did the same thing. But it still made me excited to get a PS4 because I was already in that ecosystem, and then signing into it and having you know, all my stuff transfer over. So
because that's the worst thing. If you do get like a new console or even a new PC, you're already there. You're just like, oh yeah,
right.
Account.
Sign in, you're good to go. Okay. Are you planning on getting a Switch 2, or are you just kind of waiting to see?
I do want one. I was going to wait for one, but I was like, oh, I want that. So I do want one. If I'm waiting to see the price as well. Like, I don't know what the price will be.
What if Microsoft announces a handheld this year?
Dun, dun, dun.
What are you gonna do? Uh-oh.
Well, I read up on that. We can talk about that. But I read up on what it is.
Yeah, I'll let you bring that up later.
But yeah, I'm hoping the Switch is no more than £400.
It's gonna be $900, and it's gonna sell out.
You could sell that Switch for $160.
You could definitely sell it for $160. You could get your money back easy on that.
And I know that's the thing. It's like, that was so cheap. Well, I could just get my money back regardless.
Yeah, you could have just taken that and put it on eBay and made $100 off of it.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah. Find those kids and they'll be like, please, sir, can we buy our Switch back from you?
Can we have the Switch back, please? So yeah, we'll see what happens with Nintendo's event next month.
That's 160. That's a lot of Jaffa cakes. All right. Well, I didn't play a lot this week. I've had some other stuff to do, but honestly, I'm just, you know, I finished Avowed. I finished Indiana Jones, and I got this huge backlog of games, and I'm just kind of in the mood for something, and I just haven't found that
what
game.
It is yet.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want, like, after playing those games, I want like a new sci-fi first-person shooter. You know, like just something that's like completely different from those. You know, like a Half-Life 3 or a Titanfall 3 would be great right about now. And I don't want to play Halo. I mean, I've played it to death. It's pretty much dead anyway. Yeah. Call of Duty is now Fortnite.
Did you play Stalker 2?
I did, but it's so slow. I mean, it's not sci-fi. It's just apocalyptic. You know, and it's a good game, but it just I don't know. I might try it again because I think a lot of times you'll play a game and you're just really not in the mood for that. And I really wasn't in the mood for that. It's just really slow paced, and it's more survival. Yeah. And all the everything looks the same. All the characters look the same. All the places that I went looked exactly the same. Like, I'd walk into a building and go, I was just here, wasn't I? And I walk outside and go, no, that was that building right there. So it got, I don't know, I kind of got bored with it. But I may go back. I will get an itch to play that again, and I'll just go back and play it. But for right now, I don't kind of want that. So with saying that, of course, this is what I started playing. It's a game called Chernobylite. Have you ever heard of that? It's on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. It came out a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's based right next to Chernobyl. And you fight guys that are called stalkers. But it is a little bit different. Yeah, it's more of like a base building game. So you have you go into this facility and get this piece that's like, you pull it right out of where Chernobyl just, you know, fried, and it allows you, using your gun, allows you to make a portal to, you take a portal and get out of there and go to this other location. So basically, so far, I haven't played a whole lot of it, but this guy that's helping you, he kind of runs the base and he gives you missions to do. So you just select a mission and then you go do it. And as you're doing that, he like recruits people and you find other people to, that will be in the base. So you want to get stuff to build your base up so that the people in the base, I believe, can like go and do other missions. Like they'll go do their own mission and come back, and they'll have like medical supplies and things like that. But it looks really good. I believe I want to say it's Unreal Engine 5, but I'm not like one of those real early Unreal Engine 5 games. It performs pretty well, but it's your basic thing. There's a lot of rundown buildings, and it's a lot very Stalker-ish. But you're really just looking for stuff. But it does have some paranormal kind of aspects to it. So I went to the top floor of this building, and there's a TV, and it's just static. And there's these chairs facing the TVs, and there's dolls in each chair. And I'm like, oh, you're going to run your eyes, kids. What, let me turn this off for you. So I turned the TV off, and the whole room goes black. And then my flashlight, like, kicks back on, and the dolls are gone. So it's got that going on, too. So that's when I was like, yeah, I think maybe this is right up my alley. It's not really the sci-fi game I wanted, but
it sounds like State of Decay.
Well, no. State of Decay doesn't really have anything paranormal.
Yeah, but in the sense that like you have to go out and get stuff, and then there's also a base.
Well, yeah, and the base, right. Yeah, it is first person, and it's very confined. Like you're in these like small maps. It's not like open world or anything. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. It is when you recruit people, you don't really like take them with you or anything. I don't think you can do that. I haven't really done that yet. But they're basically they're kind of static. Like you come back and go, hey, I just came back from my mission too, and I got this stuff. So now you've got this stuff to add to your base and whatnot. But and it's got this story that you play a scientist that lost his wife when Chernobyl had a meltdown. And it was pretty cool because the very first mission, you go into Chernobyl and you see the big control panel. And if you watch the HBO special, the miniseries, which is really good, by the way, it looks just like that. It's like you're there on the set of that show. So they did a fantastic job of recreating like that Chernobyl. But and there's a sequel to this game that just came out, and I looked at it. It doesn't look much like this. It's like a third-person action game. It's weird. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. So if I like this and I play it, I may check out the second one. But yeah, I mean,
is it multiplayer?
I don't know. It's just single player, which I don't know. Maybe the second one is. It should
be multiplayer.
I know, especially like a base building.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like, you gather stuff, you find things. It's like you need these things to build this. So you go out in these, old buildings and stuff to look for it. It's very Metro-ish, if you ever played a Metro game. But I will say that like Metro Exodus is a better game so far. I can already tell that the quality of that game is way better than this one. But I don't know. I'm playing around with it. I've got a big backlog of stuff.
I was gonna say I still want to play that other game that you were talking about, Rift, something Rift, VR game.
Oh, yeah. What is the name of that game?
Where you have to.
Why are you asking me that?
Gun.
Yeah.
You have to clean your gun.
Oh yeah. In the radius.
Into the radius.
Yeah.
I kept saying Rift last time you mentioned it.
Maybe you think Oculus Rift. That's maybe that's what.
Yeah, you were saying. Yeah, you were saying it's like a little bit like DayZ, but it's apocalyptical. Like.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Stalker game, but like condensed. It's got some really cool mechanics to it, and that the second one is multiplayer. It's co-op, but it's still in early access on Steam.
It still is.
Yeah. And looking at the reviews, it's like, I have to go back and look at it. The first one's on the Metastore, and it works great. I haven't had any problem with it. But man, that game will freak you out. Like, I've played like actual horror games in VR, and it's scary, but you know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing a zombie game, you know you're going to come in contact with a zombie, right? Mm-hmm. But in this game, you just have no clue what's going to happen or what you're going to run into. And the people that walk around that are kind of like phase in and out of our reality. So like a guy will come in and he'll just like, and he's there and he's like, and then if he phases out, you can't shoot him because he's not there. And then when he comes back again, he might be like right in front of you, or he might be behind you, or he might be way over there. Yeah. So you never know. Yeah. Yeah, you waste a lot of bullets, just pow, 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 pow. Motherfucker, God. And then, he's gone. But yeah, that game is a lot of fun too. I did play, try that one. Speaking of VR, I went back and played some Dungeons of Eternity. Oh wait, hang on. I forgot. Dungeons of Eternity. I put that in there just for that. And there's a room in some of the maps that are pitch dark, right? So when you walk in, there's a torch on the door. So you grab the torch and you walk over and you light it. So you have a torch that you can, walk around and see stuff in the room. There's usually not enemies in there. It's just looking for stuff, keys and gold and stuff. But I haven't played the game in a while, and I look down and there's a gold skull on the ground. And I'm like, what is that? I've never seen one of those before. So I picked it up, and it was a gold skull about the size of your hand. And I'm like, this must be new. I wonder what it's for. And you can put it like in your inventory. So it opens your inventory if you can keep it. I'm like, so it's something that you can keep. And I'm like, oh, there's a hole in the back of it. Now this is pitch dark. It's pitch dark other than my torch. So I'm like, I think I can look through this thing. So I did. I can't see anything. It's pitch dark. So I put it in between. I held my torch out and I put it in between me and my torch and looked through it. And I looked through the face of the skull, and it screamed, just shit my pants. I mean, that was like I threw it. Like just. Like what? Like I don't even know what that was. I have no clue what it does, other than just scare the shit out of you. Those guys know what they're doing with that game. It's just so much fun. So I did play a little bit of that, but yeah, I'm ready for a really good sci-fi shooter. Man, I wish just somebody would just make another Destiny, like a better, more refined, not so dumb Destiny. You know what I mean? Like planned out, like not like, oh, here's this story that we're gonna have to change later.
Yeah, yeah.
You know why they axed the Red War, like the campaign from Destiny 2? Have you heard about this?
No, I know
they stole
maybe,
it.
But...
They stole it. There's a writer that took them to court and sued them because the story of the Red War is just like a story that he wrote. Even the bad guys in the story are called the Red Legion. And took them to court, and now they can't use it. They can't bring it back.
Wow.
Because it's now under, that was, I guess, a stipulation in the lawsuit.
Wow.
Anyway, that was a sidetrack, but I thought I might have to mention that. So I guess I'm just jonesing for a Destiny-like, space opera. And
Destiny is actually free.
We're not gonna get it.
Has it always been like that? Destiny is free on Steam?
It's free to play now, except for the expansions.
Base games are free now. God knows what's in the base game now, but
nothing. Like there's that much of anything. There's like a little tutorial thing, and then you go, and then you can go to the other locations and do certain things there, but then you're going to run into, this is the season stuff, and this is the expansion stuff. So
that's basically it. Yeah.
That's basically it. So Anyway, so that's what I've been playing with. So without further ado, I want to get into this because, man, I'm starting to feel like Charlie Brown. We're supposedly getting a Gears collection in the summer that will go to PC and PlayStation as well. But yeah, I'm running, man. I'm running. I'm gonna kick that ball. I swear I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna kick it. And then come June when they announce everything and they don't say shit about a Gears collection, Lucy's gonna pull that ball and I'm gonna fly in the air and land and fracture my L7. And yep.
I've heard some things about this, and I say I've heard like I'm an insider. Ooh, careful. But I did see online that there is a PlayStation Store entry for it. There is something in the PlayStation database, and that's why I think it's actually real. It's wild to be there.
Yeah, there's actually some kind of proof, you know.
Yeah. So that is like a good sign of that. What's not clear is what's included.
What's not included?
From what I can see is there's going to be Gears 1 to 3 remastered, but there's maybe a catch. There might not be any multiplayer.
Now, when you talk about multiplayer, we're talking about the PvP modes
PvP.
for 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
So there may not be any PvP. I imagine there'll still be a co-op campaign. I'm talking about Horde. But yeah, there's talk about like no multiplayer.
Yeah.
Co-op campaign, that's still a thing, but no PvP modes. And that's not confirmed at all. Obviously, we don't know what's happening yet.
Right.
So people aren't sure whether it is or not. But I could see that being the case if they just wanted to remaster the story quickly. Be like, hey, PlayStation, catch up, PC, have your 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Because you never had it for some reason. And then E-Day comes along with like full crossplay everywhere and like full monetization, and you know how they're going to do that. So I can see that happening. But I wouldn't mind having multiplayer across everything. If you're going to remaster it, why not just have the multiplayer?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would guess it has something to do with just maintaining servers. I don't think this is going to be on the same level as like the Master Chief Collection.
No,
because that actually became a live service. I mean, they continuously added like multiplayer stuff to it, skins and all kinds of stuff. I don't think that's what we're going to see here. I think this is going to be a one and done. And I don't think that they want to. I think they just don't want to maintain the servers unless it has something to do with it being on PlayStation. I don't know. But
I mean, that wouldn't stop them from like adding multiplayer or anything like that. It wouldn't.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess because if it has co-op, that's multiplayer technically. But I don't know. It is kind of a weird option. But honestly, I mean, out of 3 games, you got 3 games with. That's a lot of multiplayer. Like especially 3, they added map after map after map to 3. And I'm thinking like 2. Yeah, I remember 2 having map packs. Some really cool map packs. They had some weather effect map packs back then that were awesome.
I mean, if this is like a sort of just port job from, I don't know, some random studio, I can see it just being campaigns.
Yeah.
Depends who's working on this thing, because Initiative is supposed to be working on.
Well,
not
did they
Coalition.
Actually say remaster though? Because I haven't read anything about it, like 2 and 3 being remastered. Just that they were going to be on PlayStation and PC.
Well,
so,
I mean, it's got to be a remaster of some sort.
I don't know. I mean, 3 looks shit. Go back and look at Gears of War 3. It looks better than some brand new fucking games out there right now. I mean, seriously.
but can you imagine, right? Just like, oh yeah, here's your Gears games, our 360 versions. There you go.
running at 30 FPS.
So there's obviously got to be some work done, you know. Even if it's not like a whole overhaul, like, I don't know, what was it? The Gears Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that will be the version 1 that they're going to put with it is the remake of that.
I don't know. So it's very odd. I don't know what's really going on here because it doesn't make really a lot of sense because we have the first remake.
Yeah.
We didn't get 2 or 3. Now we're getting the collection, but no multiplayer. It just seems odd, but there is definitely something there.
3, the campaign in 3 is a giant game. I mean, that campaign is 20 hours long, easy, if not more. It's 4-player co-op. I mean, it is a giant game. For them to remaster that, yeah, if they've been working on it for like the last 4 years or so, sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was just 2 and 3, maybe just PC settings, like make the PC setting like they usually do now, and then port it to PS5 with different quality modes and whatnot. But yeah, not having the multiplayer is a weird choice, but I'm not entirely surprised.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm just confused as to how Gears works, because we've obviously on Xbox we got all the Gears games plus backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you're on Xbox, unless these are remakes for the campaigns, do you even need these?
No, I don't think it's for Xbox. I don't think it's
no, it's not, because they're trying to get the PlayStation audience.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like
that's what they want.
Yeah, the idea with the Master Chief Collection was that they took they updated those games to 60 FPS and added some like quality of life stuff in the campaigns and things like that, and they've kind of already done that on the console with Gears. Like 2 and 3 are both 4K 60 FPS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, so.
And when is this going to be announced? Like in June?
Well, if this does happen, then June, because supposedly it's supposed to be out in August.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Right.
We'll see.
Well. I think that something like that, honestly, I don't know. I think it's better, and this is just me, but I think it's better to have like a big release game and wait a couple of weeks or even, maybe up to a month, and then have a huge announcement. And then wait a couple of months, and then you have another, giant game like Doom Dark Ages. And then wait a little bit, and then make another announcement. That keeps the enthusiasm just at a peak level. When we have these things, it's like, oh, this game came out, and then an extreme amount of not shit until that next game comes out, and then we all have to wait till June for whatever. I know that E3 hole needs to be filled, and it generates a lot of enthusiasm, especially for investors and things like that. But man, I would rather just get continuous feed of stuff, Like, why do you have to wait for an announcement to something that's not even coming out probably this year? I mean, it's just stupid to have to wait for that. Just, what are you working on? When are we getting it? And let's see gameplay. It's just I don't know. I get kind of leery of that, and it's always been like that, since we've had since the internet, really, since you can put stuff on a page like, hey, check this out, see what we're working on.
Yeah, I think the internet ruined a lot of things as well when it comes to like announcements and leaks and just everything.
It used to be so transparent though. Like back in the 90s, like John Carmack, you could read his what was called a dot plan. You could go in and they would post it on their website. It's like, hey, this is what I'm working on today. So the Quake textures are doing this, and the 3D geometry is coming in. It's really good, but we're having a problem with this. And if you'd like to see, here's an example of it, and they'd post like a screenshot of something, and you would get these things, periodically, and you kind of get an idea of like how close they're getting and what it's looking like and what direction they're going in, and that was just because they did it for the people that were interested in it. Now you can't do any of that because you've got, investment calls and earnings calls and investors, and it's got to be on this calendar for this, and it's dumb. So yeah, with something like this though that has been rumored for, God, shit, dude, I think we talked about this back on the Xbox show like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I think most of us probably just hope, this will be really cool. Since like Master Chief Collection, really.
Well, because it just makes sense to do it.
Do Gears, and we've been waiting, and
David's been growing this Marcus Phoenix,
I've got the Marcus Phoenix stash.
He's right
here.
That's not there for nothing.
Dumb.
Tacos. So yeah, let's hope this is true and we get it announced. Honestly, if they just announce it, I will sleep a little better just knowing that, it's out there and it exists. But
yeah.
Anyway, so the next story, this is a bigger story, I guarantee you. But in an interview, Neil Druckmann says, "Don't expect another Last of Us." So we're looking down the barrel of season 2 on the TV show of The Last of Us on HBO, which he is directly involved with, and he's basically saying they're not making a 3. Now in 2001, he said he had a clear outline of the story, and they were working on A, B, and C, but they were also working on Factions, which got canceled by Sony. And Neil Druckmann is saying he kind of wants to step back and spend more time with his family and, possibly retire one day. So why do you think this is? Why do that? That seems like that's just throwing money away, right?
Is it? Is it throwing money away?
Well, I know. I'm throwing that out there for discussion.
Because
ask the question back.
Do you always answer questions with a question?
But The Last of Us. I think everyone universally agrees, really, that the first one was amazing.
Yeah,
it was, and deserved every single.
It was really well written. The characters were great,
and 2
gameplay was good. No.
Gameplay obviously 2 weeks get better, and they look incredible all the time. But 2 story was not good. So I don't know, because I think we're in a sort of different culture right now, as opposed to like when Last of Us was out.
Oh come on, man! That was like 4 years ago. It's not like it was.
No, not like
a decade.
When Last of Us was first out, it was a decade ago.
Well, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, obviously 2 is a bit more recent, but just lately, the internet is so up in arms against everything right now. Like social media is just so volatile. Maybe he's just saying that just to like calm the waters. It's like maybe there isn't one yet. We're not. Just back off. Let's just see what the TV show does. Maybe we can make something after that. I think he's a bit worried that the internet's going to cancel him or something.
Well, they have another like huge game coming out at some point. They didn't really say when, did they? With Intergalactic. So and they've hinted that is a new franchise. They did call it a franchise, which means that there'll be possibly a Intergalactic 2. So I can't see the studio making an Intergalactic 2 and a Last of Us 3 at the same time.
No. But the thing is, like, this whole time, I think it could have been closer to a Last of Us 3 if Naughty Dog and Sony weren't so stupid sometimes. Sony trying to make Factions a live service, and then they decided to remake Last of Us 1 again.
Well,
okay,
that just makes money, man. Those remakes it's just printing money.
I know, it was so dumb though. Like, because they want to make the graphics look like Last of Us 2. I think the Last of Us original, like the PS3, PS4 version, looks better than the remake.
Yeah.
Because they changed the art style and they changed some of the models. It doesn't work in the first game as much as the second. So that's just a lot of resources they wasted where they could have just made a third game.
Well, they didn't really waste those resources. You've got people that work on the remakes. It's not like Naughty Dog, like everybody goes to work that day and works on the remake. You got probably like 8 people that work on the remake. It's not.
No, yeah, I know, like different teams.
Naughty Dog has
it,
like 200 and something employees, I think, if not more. So,
but like, if you have people working on the remake, other people start Intergalactic, and other people doing Factions. Well, Factions is dead, the remake's out, and now they're doing Intergalactic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's probably nobody to do a 3 right now.
Right. I think now, David, what do you think?
Well, I was just gonna say, I think their focus more is on the show. They're trying to build a fan base for the show. So I guess my thought process is they want the show to be more popular so that way they can drop a 3 if they see that there's something going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus, Intergalactic is like a new IP, so it's like they might want to drum up some support on that, then focus their attention on 3. I also get the feeling they're done with it. You know what I mean? It's like I mean, they kind of fucked the story up a little bit in 2. So like, where are they gonna go with it? Like, ultimately, they're not gonna bring what was his name, Joel?
Yeah.
In the first one, I mean, he's dead. They killed him off.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite character.
Spoiler if you haven't played Last of Us 2. Dumbest decision ever.
You know what I love about that game, and I haven't really played much of it, but I love that I can go on YouTube and watch all the cinematics put together.
Yeah.
And it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think that Neil Druckmann, for one, is he's a feminist, and not that matters per se, but I think that may alter his decision on which game is going to take a forefront, and where they're going to go, with The Last of Us as a game universe. I think that, and this is just me guessing, but I would say that because he also has a giant ego, maybe Sony canceling Faction was him just going, nah, we're not going back to that. They did that 4 years, man. You work 4 years on a game, and one dude from Bungie comes in and goes, nah, man. And they go, okay, we cancel it. I mean, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta be, that's just, I mean, think about it. If you were working on something for 4 years and some guy came over and goes, hey, man, I brought my cousin. He's like an expert, and he says it sucks. So you got to, throw it away. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, I'm just, it's like the simplest term. Like, I'm sure the guy at Bungie knew what he was talking about, but.
But it's true, though. Like,
Yeah. And honestly, the sales for The Last of Us, the first one, were really, really good.
Yeah.
The second one, I couldn't really find the exact numbers because it gets muddled with the remake and this and that. And I couldn't find the sales numbers of the original The Last of Us. I know that they're less because, the story got leaked and everybody was like, what? And there was a lot of hate for it. I personally did not like the game at all. I don't think it was well written. The gameplay was not enough to keep me engaged because the first one was, the gameplay was good, the story was good, the graphics were good, the characters were good, everything was good, everything. I mean, it was just such a well-rounded presentation of a game. The second one was just, I hated everyone in that game. There was not one person in that game that I actually liked. You know, that was that I was like, okay, I can root for this person. No, everybody in the game is just a shithole. You know, just it's
like we can root for Joe. Oh
no. Yeah. You know, and even his brother turned out to be just a shithead. You know, it's.
I mean, it does show. I kind of see how the universe of the game would work, because in that kind of world, I guess no one will be a good person. So
that's not but that's not what it's about, though. That's not the first one. Was about a guy that was not a good guy, and he had reason to be, because he had to survive, and he didn't know why he was surviving, because he had lost everything when this happened. And he did they never really showed what he did, but they alluded to him being, doing some really bad stuff. So then he has this whole redemption arc. Right, but he had a redemption arc of him, finding that person he used to be again, and his decision at the end of that game was 100% correct. Anyway, it's like, let him go. And then the second one proves that his decision was right. But going into the second one, what made Ellie great in that first one was completely 100% absent in the second one. What everyone liked about Joel was immediately eradicated like an hour into the game. So with that, and I know that there's a lot of people who's like, oh, it's the greatest game ever made. Okay, fine. If you think that's wonderful. But the sales aren't there. Just like Sony's other games, like God of War sold really well. God of War Ragnarok, not as much. Horizon sold really well. The second one, not as much. Spider-Man, I don't know if Spider-Man 2. Do we have sales numbers for those?
I don't know sales. I don't think sales.
I think it hit 10
than the first.
I read that it was. That means that the people that buy the first game are not. There's a lot of them that are not buying that second game because they couldn't get into it, or they just didn't like it, or I mean, so I think it's a smart move for them to not make another Last of Us. And just let the TV show take all the glory. They're trying to be a movie anyway. Just let the TV show go. So that what we like, that 3 that we were supposed to get, maybe that outline he's written is going to be season 3. And then moving forward, with that show, maybe he's just going to write the rest of, The Last of Us through this TV show. And I think that's perfectly fine.
I think they said they wanted 4 seasons of The Last of Us.
Perfect. Last of Us 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, you know what I'm saying?
So
I mean, that's a smart way of keeping that franchise, but in another way, unlike the Halo TV show. But I think that's my take on it. I think that
I was gonna say, I think you bring up a good point with like, you played the first Last of Us, and you like Joel. And then they get rid of him in the second one, and it's sort of like I kind of equate it to like Game of Thrones. Like everybody was really into Game of Thrones, and then by like season 2 or 3 for me, I was just sort of like, I don't like anybody anymore.
I know, that's why I couldn't get into it.
And even the people that I like, I will start to hate, and then the people that I hate, I have to like. But only for a little while. And I never understood this sort of idea of like people trying to be edgy or artistic or creative. And it's like, listen, the reason why I watch something or play something is because I like it. If you put something in there that I don't like, I'm just not going to watch it, or I'm not going to play it anymore. And I know you're trying to be like edgy and creative, and you're trying to make the story twist, but the things that made the first one great, every time you had that imagination to make something great, the basis was always because I wanted to make a person that you cared about. And it's just like they ripped that from us for the sequels, because they want, they lose the thing that we watched you know, from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna kill off Joel, fine, but make me love somebody else. Don't make me hate everybody
or
after that.
make his death mean something.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Definitely.
Right. And it's like that with every damn game. It's like, or every movie too. It's just like, we like it, we love it, yeah. And then part 2 comes out and it's like, oh, we're gonna make you hate somebody, and it's like, I don't want to hate anybody.
Yeah.
I want to like people.
That's a great comparison because I felt the same way with Game of Thrones. It's like,
Yeah.
this show's like it's like everything I should like, right? I watched I watched most of the first season, and I stopped watching it because I'm like, I hate everyone. This is just a bunch of shitty people doing shitty things to other shitty people, and I'm like, there's no.
There's no good guy. There's no.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever heard of
Yeah.
Joseph Campbell? He wrote a book called The Power of Mythology, or Power of Myth, sorry. And it's basically like all the stories told from the beginning of time have to do with a hero and a hero's journey. You know,
right.
somebody that's like, just like me and you having to beat all the odds and you know, and kill the dragon or whatever it is. You know, Arthurian legend to Luke Skywalker. It's all the same thing. And that's and if they're like us and they're relatable, and I mean us, I mean like people, like regular people. I don't mean like white dudes.
Yeah.
I mean like regular people that are relatable. Then that's, you want to see them succeed, and that and that's what, you know. If you watch something that's just a bunch of shitty people, it's just like going, you know, it's like just going to work, you know. The Last of Us, there's no hero to that game. There's no hero to that story. The second one had no, there's no, you know, and somebody brought, well, Ellie, you know, blah. Okay, so you went through that whole game and watched the main character make the worst decisions possible, only to find out, duh, revenge bad. Like, no shit, you know, like that's,
I remember.
there was, it just,
I remember watching Walking Dead for a little while,
Mhm.
and then I stopped watching it, and then everybody was talking about this scene where Negan bashes this guy in the head, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this scene, you know? And it's just like, Negan's bashing this guy in his fucking head, and I'm like, I remember that guy, I like that guy, he was a good guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
he was bashing their head.
I'm just watching this scene, and I'm like, why does anybody watch this shit? Like, this isn't even fun anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like what am I? And I felt like that with the Game of Thrones when they had the Red Wedding. Oh, everybody got slaughtered. Yeah, like fucking eight main characters died in one shot. I'm like, why do you watch this? It's stupid. Like, stop watching this. This is not fun.
It's,
you know, and
it's
just,
dramatic, but it's,
it's dramatic.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
right.
not. Yeah,
I think
It doesn't add anything.
No, it doesn't.
I think shock value is what they bet on, and now it goes so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone gave me that book years ago, and they said, I just finished reading this. You might want to read it. And it was the Game of Thrones, the very first book.
Yeah.
And he said, but I'm going to tell you this: don't get too comfortable with any character in this book. It's like, and I'm like, So I read the book, and really, I read the book, and the way the book is just, the whole book is just introducing each character. And I called him when I was like, man, I'm guessing there's another book, because this was just an introduction to a bunch of characters I don't like. And like, yeah, there's another one. And he told me the name of it. I'm like, I'm good. You know, and when the show came out, I was like, well, maybe I was missing something, you know, watching it. I'm like, no, this is exactly the same feeling I got. It's like, I didn't really like anyone. There's characters, and it's like, oh, this is going to be the hero. Oh, no, he's terrible. Oh, maybe she's oh, God, she's terrible too. You know, maybe I'm simple. Maybe I'm just, not smart, or just, shallow. I want stories that take you, that give you someone to, like, that may be surprisingly good and surprisingly, powerful, that are just like, the mythology of old, the stories that they used to tell by campfires, years ago.
Yeah.
Saying like Game of Thrones, though, like even the fans of Game of Thrones didn't like Game of Thrones by the end, and just sort of ended on a whimper.
Well, it did because it. Well, I mean,
there's that.
George R. R. Martin didn't finish it because he still hasn't finished the book, so they had to do something with it. And maybe that's what Neil Druckmann is wanting to do, is he's going to shift over to maybe Hollywood, or maybe just, this TV show or another TV show, and finish that story through that. And I think that's a brilliant idea. I think that's, if he's doing that, like I said, he's got a huge ego. He's probably just like walks into Hollywood and go, I'm here, female characters, muscles. So, and that may totally work for him.
Yeah.
And maybe transition out of Naughty Dog. I don't know, but I'm not sad about this at all. About not getting another Last of Us. Be honest.
Naughty Dog, I'll get a PlayStation if you make another Jack game.
Well, yeah, we're not going to see a lot of platformers from these AAA studios anymore.
I am kind of glad that they might have Last of Us out their system at the moment and do something new, because
maybe Intergalactic will be super good. I don't think it will.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be Last of Us fatigue, because they've been doing the same thing for the last 10 years. So like, give it a break, do something else.
Yeah, they did Uncharted for a long time, but still put out some Jack and Dexter games, I think, right? Let's move on to our next story. You, if you live in the UK, can rent a PlayStation. Not that you can't do that here. But in Europe you can get, let me get the numbers on this. So you can take home a PS5 Pro to a 30, now it's a 36-month contract for $18.95 a month. So that's about $25 here. That's not bad. That's not terrible.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah. So of course, this is going to be, there's going to be some interest and stuff like that come out, and then I think let me get the price on it. Comes out to about $882 once you pay everything off. Well, yeah. So, that includes the Portal, and I think the PS5 Pro, right? So they have options on. Yep. I mean, the PSVR. So that's not bad. The only thing is it is a contract, so you're paying more to not pay everything up front.
But here's the kicker,
which is basically just paying, using a credit card.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, that'd be great if you could do that. Here's the kicker, though. It says here on this website I just looked up.
Mm-hmm.
Just bear in mind, you won't own the system at the end of your term.
You have to give it back,
and will have to return it, or continue to pay a rental fee, or contact the company to discuss it purchasing it outright. So it's not like Xbox's program where they did all access,
which had no interest, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Get this though. All right, so you can do this in the U.S., and I'm guessing that this was probably something that you could have done, all along. Let's see if I found it here. Come on. So there's a place called Rent One Home Furnishings, and I noticed that there's Rent-A-Center has this, and other rental places that are here in the U.S. have these. But okay, so here is their version of this. This is a PS5 Pro. You can pay weekly or pay monthly, or you can purchase it retail. No credit check, flexible payment options, and free delivery. Here's the first one, pay weekly. So this is for a PS4 Pro. You pay $44.99 US for 60 weeks. Okay?
Jeez.
Yeah.
How much?
$44.99 for 60 weeks,
$60.
which comes to $26.99, $2,699. Okay, but it gets better. So monthly, you can pay $179.96. So $180 a month. for 15 months, and you're still paying the same amount.
For just the PlayStation.
PlayStation Pro, dude. It's a Pro.
I know, but
or it gets better. Or you can just flat out buy it for $1,400.38.
Who is pricing these things? Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
This has to be the worst deal I've ever seen in my life.
Jeez.
Now, but with this, you do get to keep it after, after you pay after the 60 weeks of
After
paying
they
weekly.
let you try.
Is it gold plated by chance?
No, not at all. And it's most likely used. It's probably not even going to be a new one. It's probably somebody like rented it for a week like 90 times. So and that's just one. I did look at some others, and they're just basically they're not as bad, but they're not really that great either.
I mean, I'm not sure what Sony are thinking with the UK market either with this whole rent thing.
Well, that would be perfectly great if you could keep it after the end of it. But if you have to return it,
that's what I mean. It's what just yeah.
That's
the thing is with like a lot of our mobile contracts over here.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are you could probably like pay for your internet or for your mobile bill plus a console. That's an option over here. A lot of the time you can probably get Xboxes or maybe PlayStations or Switches with.
So you can just add that to your cell phone bill?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's pretty
so
cool.
That happens over here. It's like an extra bonus with your internet or your mobile or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a cable box. Yeah, you're just paying for the. Yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah.
It's like the Xbox One, TV.
Yeah, and it all came back full circle.
It did. It's a cable box.
Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah, but we have that all the time over here. So this rent service, rent to not own. What?
Yeah, that just it's just Sony. I mean, they just have the worst deals. I meant to check on their lawsuit. They've got a giant lawsuit from I think it's Norway or something like that.
That was Germany, actually.
Was it Germany? Yeah.
They're getting sued from everybody at this point.
They are. I mean, it's like I think almost $1 billion or something. They're suing them for price gouging on their store.
Actually, funny thing, I'm pretty sure the UK actually sued Sony, and then they're putting more services in the UK.
Yeah. I mean, they're come on, people. I really don't understand why they sell 75 million copies of this console. I mean, it's not that. I mean, if you want to buy a console, you're probably going to get the one your friends have.
You know what? Yeah. You know what?
It's such a scam.
Being a little bit conspiracy theorist here, have they really sold 75 million units?
No, they haven't. They're adding probably these rentals, and it's probably shipped. It's probably not actually sold, and we know how that works.
Yeah, I mean shipped, yeah. But like there was some stories like when the Portal came out, they were gonna add Portal numbers to PS5 sold.
How does that work? That's not a PS5.
I don't know.
You can't even use it without a PS5.
I mean, well, you can now, but yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, still,
I know it just seems like if there's 75 million consoles, why aren't games like selling 40 million copies on a PS5?
Tell me why. If you got 75 million consoles out there and you have Spider-Man 2, you should have sold 50 million copies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't for Sony.
And man, come to PC. We have a bunch of stores. I bought Chernobylite for like what, $6? I think it was like $6. You can buy.
I'm gonna
What?
put that other game on my wish list. The one we were talking about before.
Yeah.
The one that I keep calling Rift.
Was it Into the Realm?
In the Radius. Yeah.
In
the Radius.
Yeah, that game is a trip. Monster Hunter Wilds is apparently a huge hit.
Mm-hmm. That's doing really well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of complaints about the performance on PC. On Steam, there is a benchmark that you can run to see how it's going to perform on your system before you buy it. Which I wish everybody would do this. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
I ran it. I'm good. I'm ready to go. And
on console it looks rough as well, but I think it always did. But everyone's usually playing and having fun with it. So
I know I'm kind of interested in it, but it's $70 unless you go to Green Man Gaming. It's like $53. So see, that's what I'm talking about. You go to PlayStation, you got one price. You come to PC, you got multiple prices. They're usually cheaper. Yep. So
I mean, PlayStation does have one game at least this year on PlayStation 5 only, and that's Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, did you see the David? Did you see this trailer? You need to watch this trailer, dude.
It's
you're gonna watch this trailer. You're gonna be like, "What did I just? What is this game? Like, what is this?" The same thing I thought when I saw the trailer for the first one. Like, what the living fuck is this? But man, and was that not John Oliver at the end of that, putting on the robot head? That looked just like John Oliver.
There's so many like big cast names. It's ridiculous. Just have every single actor in this game.
Oh man,
you know, like
I mean, it's so freaking weird, man. I Death Stranding. I played some of it.
I've yet to play it. I need to
I've got it. I might. I sometimes want to go back and try it because it's just so weird, man. I can't get into it because I can't. It's not that I can't grasp what's going on, like I'm missing the story. It's just that it's so interweaving with, just funkiness that it's.
Yeah.
I think it's like just sometimes weird for just the sake of being weird and doesn't have a real meaning behind it. And that's what really pisses me off. Like you're just being weird for no goddamn reason. And that's just, you're wasting my time with that shit.
Yeah. This is out on June 26th.
Yep, PS5 only so far.
Yeah, so
it will go to PC probably shortly after, and maybe even Xbox. So
I mean, it should go to Xbox because PlayStation don't even own the game anymore. So
no, he probably got some extra money. They probably signed it. That's what Sony does now. Is they'll sign these deals. It's like
that's what
don't put it on Xbox. And they're like, no. And like, okay, well, how about for 6 months? I'm like, okay. So, it's dumb.
I guess that deal was already in place ages ago. When they signed to make it. So whatever.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know why someone would not want to put it on another entire platform. To make possibly at least 3 million more, copies sold. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would not want to do that, but they sometimes don't. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting this year, and I think that's it. I think we're all caught up on what's going on. So. No announcements coming up that I know of.
I'm watching John Oliver right now.
That is John Oliver, is it not? I mean, I went to IMDb to see if he wasn't in there, but of course there was a lot of people in the first one. Like, of course, Jeff Keighley was in the first one, and
what was it?
Conan O'Brien was in it.
Yeah.
Did you know Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter are in Halo 4? Did you know that?
No.
What? Yeah. They're just two soldiers. They're having like the stupidest conversation, and you have to find them. You have to like walk over in a certain spot in a certain area and walk over, and they're just saying just dumb shit back and forth, man. It's hilarious. Anyway.
I liked the comments basically on the Death Stranding 2 trailer because they said one of the guys looked like evil Solid Snake.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was totally intentional. Yeah. Yeah, the trailer is, man. It just, it's like, and it's like made like you're like you know everything. Like, oh wow, this is the thing, and this is the. Yeah. I'm like,
it's not.
Oh my god, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
He's one of like the few game developers or entertainment makers, basically media. You can make a 10-minute trailer, and you still don't know what the hell is going on. Just whatever. Yeah. 10 minutes it is, and
like
we still don't know what the
movie trailers now. You watch a 3-minute trailer and you've seen the movie. Like it gives everything away. There's no, I mean, there's no secrets. There's no anything. And he makes a 7-minute trailer, and you're just like, what the fuck was that? I know less about the world by watching that. Crazy. But it's gonna be big. It's gonna be a big game. I mean, you gotta respect his scope. You know, I mean, the guy's just, I don't see how he just makes games look that good, and it's just incredible stuff. This is not even his engine. This is
Sony's engine.
Well, it was made by Horizon Zero Dawn. Who am I thinking of? Killzone guys. Guerrilla Games. They made this engine, if I'm not mistaken. And Horizon and Horizon 2 are on it. This trailer looks 20 times better than both of those games. So, they're doing something right over there. He's got like a little team in a closet. It's like, you will not come out until this game looks like real life.
I'm kind of surprised it's out that soon, to be honest.
Well, it was announced like, 2 years ago? More? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
When that's out, then more games for Kojima. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens now. We are in March. We've got Adamfall comes out the end of the month. We got Assassin's Creed coming out, next week? Something like that?
10 days.
10 days, something like that. So we'll see what happens with that. And
Inzoi coming out in 2 weeks.
What is?
Inzoi. Remember that game?
Oh,
where
yeah. Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is anybody getting it?
I'm going to get it.
Are you? Good, because I'm broke.
I'm gonna look into it. There's another game I'm looking forward to. Is 33 Immortals?
33 Immortals. Yeah, there's a beta on the Epic Game Store of all places, but I haven't played it yet.
I think I'll be on that Game Pass as well. So
yeah.
It comes out. I think it's early access, but that looks fun. So there's a lot of games coming out very soon.
Yeah. I think it's ultimately gonna be a good year. We just have to, buckle up and write out all the drama. Yeah, just stay off social media altogether. Just period. Just you'll feel better, and you feel better about gaming and our country.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine here. It's fine. No problem here. No, we're good. As far as I know. Anyway, all right. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for dropping in. And please do like and subscribe. It does help us get, on that algorithm, whatever that is. And, reach other people that may enjoy the show. So see you next week. We'll be back.
See you.